The street looked like any other in suburban America. Neat houses, trimmed hedges, neighbors waving as they collected their papers. It was a place people moved to for peace and safety, a picture of domestic tranquility. But beneath this calm, a darkness was quietly taking root. The danger here wasn't loud or obvious. It crept in the silences, in the cold spaces of a failing marriage. No one suspected that behind one of those doors, a meticulous predator was at work. The truth was more chilling than any ghost story. This story begins not with violence but with paperwork, the sterile end of a marriage. For most, divorce is a painful but procedural end. For one person, it was just the beginning. The documents meant to separate lives would become the foundation for a series of crimes that would shatter the neighborhood's calm. The air, thick with the scent of cut grass, carried no hint of the malevolence unfolding. Sometimes, the most ordinary places harbor the most extraordinary evil. This is a tale of how the familiar can become terrifyingly alien. The divorce between Alex and Jamie started like many others: arguments, drifting apart, and the exchange of deeply personal documents. Jamie, eager to move on, handed over everything: financial statements, social security numbers, birth certificates. Soon after, strange things began to happen. Jamie received credit card bills for accounts they never opened, and debt collectors called about loans they never took. At first, it seemed like a bureaucratic error. But then, Jamie discovered their tax returns had been filed by someone else, the refund sent to an unknown address. This was no mistake. It was calculated fraud. The feeling of violation was profound. Someone was living a parallel life with Jamie's identity. The suspicion grew. Could the person responsible be someone close? The divorce paperwork had all the information needed. Alex had access to it all. Jamie realized with horror that the person they once loved was now dismantling their life. The divorce had become a battle for identity, a fight against a ghost with a familiar face. Alex wasn't impulsive. The identity theft was a meticulously planned operation. Using the divorce documents as a blueprint, Alex built a portfolio of fake identities. It started with Jamie, but soon included others, real people on society's fringes, whose disappearances went unnoticed. Alex gathered information from discarded mail, online footprints, and casual conversations. With this arsenal, Alex created a network of phantom individuals, each with a believable backstory. They rented P.O. boxes, used burner phones, and managed a cast of digital ghosts from their suburban home. Some identities belonged to real people, transients, runaways, who simply vanished. In their place, Alex assumed control, using their details to create new lives on paper. This was about more than money. It was about power and control. In the real world, Alex felt powerless. In this secret world, they were in charge. The suburban home became a command center for a criminal enterprise, its secrets hidden behind a facade of normality. Alex was the architect of a universe where lives could be created and destroyed with a keystroke. With a stable of stolen identities, Alex moved to cash in. They took out loans and maxed out credit cards in Jamie's name, funneling money into offshore accounts. But the scheme went further. Alex used other identities to buy assets, then staged their owners' deaths with fake documents. As a long-lost heir, Alex claimed life insurance, liquidated investments, and sold properties. The money flowed through a web of accounts, making the crimes nearly invisible. To outsiders, it looked like a series of unrelated tragedies. Alex was moving millions, all while living a modest, unremarkable life. The greatest trick was hiding the fortune in plain sight. For a long time, authorities saw only isolated cases of fraud. Jamie's complaints were logged as nasty identity theft. Other deaths were processed as unfortunate events. The system, built to handle one case at a time, missed the bigger picture. The turning point came when a detective noticed a drifter, recently declared dead, had a new insurance policy paid out to a mysterious relative. The beneficiary didn't exist, just a P.O. box and a disconnected phone. Investigators found a pattern. Vulnerable people vanished, and soon after, assets were claimed by hard-to-trace beneficiaries. The fake deaths were more than paperwork. They were cover-ups. The horrifying truth emerged. These weren't just phantoms for fraud. The identities belonged to real people, and their staged deaths hid real disappearances. Alex hadn't just stolen identities. Alex had made people vanish. The case shifted from white-collar fraud to a potential serial murder investigation. The digital ghosts were now real ghosts, demanding justice. The web of lies was unraveling. The investigation now focused on linking Alex to both fraud and disappearances. Forensic accountants traced the money through a labyrinth of accounts, finding a central point: Alex's home. Document examiners found consistent handwriting across forged documents. Fingerprints on paperwork matched Alex's own records. Investigators cross-referenced Alex's movements with the last known locations of missing victims. Disturbing overlaps emerged. Credit cards tied to fake identities were used near the scenes of disappearances. The coincidences formed a damning pattern. The final blow came from Alex's computer-deleted files with templates for fake documents, draft obituaries, and notes on victims. Spreadsheets tracked stolen identities and insurance claims. Alex's meticulous planning left a digital blueprint. The architect of deception had left behind the plans. Investigators now had everything needed to bring the scheme crashing down. The day police cars rolled down the quiet street, the illusion shattered. Neighbors watched in shock as officers surrounded Alex's house. The arrest was quiet, but its impact was explosive. News spread quickly. The quiet neighbor was accused of horrific crimes. The contrast between the peaceful setting and the crime was deeply unsettling. The idea that a predator had lived among them was a profound violation. Every familiar detail now felt tainted by deception. People questioned everything. Had they missed any signs? Alex had been the perfect neighbor. Polite, reserved, unremarkable. The monster didn't look like a monster. It looked like one of them. The suburb's illusion of safety was gone, replaced by suspicion and fear. The trial was surreal. Alex sat calm as the prosecution detailed the cold-blooded scheme. The courtroom was filled with victims' families, including Jamie, who'd been ruined by someone they once loved. The prosecution laid out the digital trail, forged documents, and financial records. Each piece of evidence built a wall of guilt around Alex. The emotional core came from victim impact statements. Families spoke of loved ones reduced to pawns in a monstrous game. Their pain filled the courtroom, a testament to the human cost. The jury found Alex guilty on all counts: fraud, identity theft, kidnapping, and murder. The verdict brought closure, but not healing. Jamie and the other families were left to rebuild, haunted by the ghosts of stolen lives. The story, which began with divorce paperwork, ended in a courtroom of ghosts. This case is a chilling reminder. The greatest threats can come from those closest to us. The trust we place in a partner is profound, and when betrayed, the damage is devastating. Here, the intimacy of marriage became a weapon, and shared life became the tool of destruction. The story highlights the fragility of identity in the digital age. Our lives are data, easily stolen and reassembled by someone with the right knowledge. Alex's crimes were a masterclass in digital deception, turning personal information into fraudulent fortunes. It forces us to be more guarded, even with those we trust. Danger doesn't always look suspicious. Sometimes it wears a familiar face. The peaceful suburb was the perfect cover, its tranquility a shield for horror. This tale warns us to be vigilant, not just of the world outside, but of those we let in. Sometimes the person who knows you best is best equipped to destroy you. The danger isn't always out there. Sometimes it's already inside the house.